My name is Richard Coleman, and I am the director of Kinetic Parkour, and I am here to take you on a virtual tour of the 3D model of the gym that we had drawn up. Now, first and foremost, you've probably noticed that there are figures on the front of the building. That's not a mistake, that's not a promotional strategy. We actually plan on having mannequins, posable mannequins, that we can put on the front of the building to sort of generate interest in the location that the gym is at. They'll kind of pull people's attention towards the gym. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here on the sign real quick so that you can notice it's hard to see what it actually looks like without rendering it. So I'm going to render it real quick. And that's a more accurate representation of what our sign is actually going to look like. So first and foremost, we'll just go ahead and pan around the gym, kind of give you a general idea of how it's going to look. Get a feel for the layout here. Alright, now the first area, and one of the most important, is obviously our front reception area. We didn't take the time to model the individual rooms out because we wanted to focus more on the modeling of the gym itself. So over here you can see we have two restrooms. These right here are going to be garage doors. Now keep in mind that we based this model off of the Granite House location that we went and saw and took pictures of a few months ago, but we may have to adjust the model accordingly if we move into a space that's differently laid out. So in the Granite House, there are two garage doors right here. You have the second level. This will double as a classroom slash birthday party area if somebody wants to have their birthday party there. Down in the bottom, we have the front reception area and the back office. And right here, you can obviously see we have a kind of relax area, a chill out area where you can just go and hang out and get a view of what everybody else is doing in the rest of the gym. Over here, we have our workout area. This is a pretty rudimentary model, so we didn't take the time to model everything that we were going to have. We're going to have mirrors over here. There'll be free weights, some gym mats that you can use to lay down and stretch out, things like that. We have an elliptical machine, a treadmill, and a universal workout machine that will let you work on pretty much anything you want to. You can do anything from pull-ups to chest presses, anything you like over there. Okay, over here, we have our locker area and preparation area. Now, depending on the space we get, the Granite House doesn't have any rooms that we could use as a locker room. However, if we get a different space, we may be able to install a locker room rather than simply having the lockers and cubbies out where everybody can see them, obviously. Now, this area of the gym is not, these obstacles are not fixed. Right here we have some balance beams that you can practice. We've got everything from a 2x4 all the way down to what's essentially a tightrope that you can practice walking along and balancing on. And then we have a few precision bars that you just precision onto the wood or the bar, depending on which one you use. Up here we have some gym mats. We have a whole bunch of vault boxes. On this side of the gym, we've got some practice for climbing up using only your arm. You jump from one to the other. If you want, you can sidle along. A ladder to help people get up who can't necessarily climb up the 2x4s that we'll have mounted onto the wall there. And you may have noticed these red and green pillars. Now, obviously, we're not going to paint the pillars in the gym red and green. These are just for measurement. These will help you kind of get a sense of how big everything is. Each alternating color is 1 foot. So green is 1 foot, red is 2 feet, green is 3 feet, red is 4 feet, etc., all the way up to about 22 feet. This area of the gym, it's marked by a gray rectangle. This is going to be the area that if we get enough money, we are going to install hardwood flooring and mirrors so that we can begin holding bigger classes there. Past that, if we can install the flooring, we're going to leave this space open so that you can move the mats or the vault boxes over, and you can practice in this area. So this area will always be open no matter what. This next piece of equipment was aptly named the Kinetic ladder. We were messaged the design for this by one of our fans, Branson Petty, on Facebook. We'd like to thank him for the idea. The idea is that both of these horizontal pieces will be adjustable. So if you need to practice diving through an obstacle or doing an underbar through an obstacle, you can set it to a height and a space that you're comfortable with, and then from there you can work on closing the gap, making it harder to get through, things like that. These will also be portable objects. They will be able to be moved throughout the gym. And speaking of portable objects, it's kind of hard to tell from what we have modeled right now, but we plan on having about 10 to 12 sections of fence. This is a placeholder for a chain link fence. With these sections of fencing, what we're going to do is we're going to mount them to bars down here on the right and left sides, and then you will be able to physically remove them from the ground. So if you'd like to practice on the picket fence or the iron fence rather than the chain link fence, you can simply take this, move it away, and then install the new fence. All in all, it should take probably 30 seconds to 1 minute to get the fence out and install the new one. This red obstacle here is going to be one of our fixed obstacles. You'll be able to practice underbars, vaults, balance. There's a lot of potential combinations you can do with this one. One of our favorite additions, right over here, are the addition of the bars. You'll be able to cat from bar to bar to practice climbing up when you don't necessarily have anything to hold on to except for just one grip point. In this space of the gym, we are actually going to leave this open. If at some point we are able to purchase and install a foam pit, useful for practicing drops and flips until you get the hang of them, we'll probably install it in this area. So we're leaving this area blank for the time being. Until we get that foam pit, we'll leave this area open so that you can move vault boxes, anything you need over here to make your own obstacle courses. Over in this corner of the gym, we have what we've named the fall boxes. Something we noticed that most parkour gyms that we see don't have any way of determining distance. You see a box and you understand, oh, okay, that's probably about 10 feet tall, but you don't know if you can necessarily grab onto it when you're starting out. The fall boxes will offer a convenient and practical way to practice jumping up, dropping down, or climbing up to a certain area, a certain height, and you'll be able to see, because we will have labeled each one of the boxes with a height, how far you can actually climb or drop or jump up onto. We will also be installing 3-inch and 6-inch boxes that will be movable, so if you wanted to practice jumping up onto something that's 4.5 feet, you can just install the 6-inch box right here and then practice moving up onto that. Speaking of distances, down here we have a stencil of a ruler. You can practice dropping off of something, see how far you roll, see how far you can jump off of various things like that. We're looking into a way of making this portable. If not, we'll have several of them stenciled throughout the gym so that you can practice dropping, jumping, rolling, things like that in various areas of the gym and be able to tell how far of a distance you're able to get or how short you're able to keep your rolls. These are just a few more boxes over here. It's worth noting that everything that we've done in the gym has been colored, and obviously we're not going to make the final colors. We're not going to make it extremely purple, really dark blue, for instance. These are just so that we can see visually where each aspect of the gym is and group them accordingly. So over here, everything's blue in this corner because it all corresponds to one another. In this area, everything is purple because these are all connected. For most of our obstacles, the construction materials are going to be plywood and 2x4s, and then obviously the bars are going to be made of metal. In this corner of the gym, we have an area for people to practice wall runs, wall flips, pretty much anything they want to. The number above these indicate the number of degrees of an angle the wall is at. You can see we have our warped wall here, then you've got a wall that's 10 degrees, 15 degrees, 25 degrees, and 35 degrees. If you're not comfortable flipping off of a straight wall, for instance, you'll be able to do it a lot more conveniently on the 35-degree angle. This green obstacle is another one of our fixed obstacles. It does serve the purpose of demonstrating that we plan on making the fence system in the gym very modular. Not only on the ground will you be able to move various fences into place, but we're going to make it so that on several of the obstacles you'll be able to install a fence right on top of them. So if you want to practice running and jumping over a fence and taking a drop after that fence, you'll be able to. Over here we have another one of our mannequins, just to kind of demonstrate the scale of the gym, in case it was getting hard to keep track of how tall everything is. For instance, our warped wall over here is roughly 14 feet. This blue area is going to be our pipes course. We may install more of them if some more funding becomes available, but as of right now, this is what we're hoping it will look like. Underneath the pipes, we have just variously sized boxes. And next to those, another fixed obstacle. We figure this one will be useful for putting fences on top of as well. You'll also be able to practice doing a wall up to get over something. You'll be able to practice doing a tic-tac, using this wall to get over this one, for instance. This area over here will be useful for several things as well. You'll be able to practice interacting with stairs, precision jumps, cat leaps, wall ups, pretty much anything you can think of over here. And that's just about everything we've got so far in the gym. Obviously, we left some space so that if we run into any extra money, or if we want to switch out a particular design for an obstacle for one that will be better suited for the gym, we can go ahead and do that. If you have any ideas for obstacles or anything like that that you think would be better suited for the gym, feel free to message us on Facebook, leave a comment on the video, whatever you like. Just find a way to get in touch with us, and we'll definitely take your idea under consideration. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you know anybody who's interested, we'd love it if you would share it with them. We are also still in desperate need of donations on our Indiegogo campaign. The Indiegogo campaign is kind of our ace in the hole with the bank. We want to be able to take it to the bank and show them that there is an interest in parkour in Utah. Otherwise, they have a very high chance of turning down our business loan. So if you were waiting to see if more people would donate or to see what the gym would look like, we encourage you to head on over to the Indiegogo page. And if you can afford to even drop $5 on us, we would love you forever. Thank you.